and welcome back to Culinary Haven. Before we start filming, I have to apologize about the noise that you might hear from the outside. They are currently filming a new Fast and Furious movie right outside our windows. Glasgow, the city of action. Today we're making a Hungarian dish called Hortobagyi Palacsinta, which is savory stuffed pancakes or crepes. Personally, I prefer the word pancakes for several reasons. This dish was introduced to us by our Hungarian friend Judit, and we love it, and that is why we're sharing it with you today. Let's begin. To make Hortobagyi Palacsinta, we need, of course, to make the pancakes and the filling. And the filling is 1 large onion, 600 grams of ground chicken, 3 or 4 tomatoes, about 300 grams, 1 yellow pepper, and a bunch of parsley, and of course sour cream. And we'll start with chopping the onion, and then we'll saute it in some olive oil, and then add the ground chicken. So we've sauteed some onions and added minced chicken, and now we're browning the chicken for a few minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, just to give it the color. Basically, that's all we're looking for at this point. Just brown the chicken. There's plenty of juices from the onions and from the mince, so we're doing it on medium to high heat. Breaking the mince into small chunks using a spoon or a spatula. We will be cooking for a few minutes, and all we need is just to stir it quite often, just to make sure that it's browning but not burning. Whilst the onions and the chicken mince are cooking, we'll prepare the tomatoes and the pepper. We'll just chop them fine. I need another knife. I find the best knife to chop tomatoes is small serrated knife, a so-called sausage knife. It doesn't squash them and it doesn't push out all the juices. And now the pepper. That's it. Ready. Let's check the pan, and it also is ready. You can see the onions and the chicken. There is no juices, just nice browning going on, and it is the right time to add the tomatoes, chopped tomatoes, and the chopped pepper. Stir it, and now we'll add all the seasoning. A whole 3 teaspoons of sweet paprika and 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika of Spanish pimenton. One and a half teaspoons of salt, but of course salt is up to you. You can salt more or less up to your taste. Everything will stir, and now a very important spice we're adding that gives it this unique flavor: half a teaspoon of caraway seeds. A good turn of black pepper, And as always, cooking with tomatoes, a couple of teaspoons of sugar. We continue cooking it on high heat because we want to brown all the ingredients. We want the tomatoes to release all the juices and them to evaporate. So basically we need to cook it on high until we have a nice brown crust at the bottom of the pan, which we will then deglaze with some water and let it simmer. When the meat and the vegetables are ready, in the end we'll add some chopped parsley as well. Now, turning it up a little bit and just a couple of minutes. Now, as you can see, the bottom we have all these nicely browned bits, and that's what we were looking for. Now it's time to add 300 ml of boiling water. Turn the heat down, stir it, scrape all the lovely browned bits off the bottom of the pan, and now we're adding the chopped parsley. Stir that. And now we're turning the heat down. Cover with the lid and let it simmer for 15 minutes. And whilst the filling is cooking, we are going to make the pancakes. I have to say that this is my own pancake recipe, but it doesn't make any difference. It's just what I'm used to, and that's what I'm making. I didn't make any changes though to the filling. 3 eggs into a large bowl, 1.5 cups of, half a cup of mushroom yogurt. Bricks, screeching, shouting, shooting, everything. Half a teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of sugar. We'll whisk it all together and add 1.5 cups of plain flour, sifted flour. I have been making this recipe, pancake recipe, as long as I remember. Keep whisking until it's all nice and smooth and no lumps. We're not making tempura, but there are lumps are not allowed. Now, nice and silky smooth. And that's the filling ready. There's plenty of juices, but that's what we want. Now we're going to strain the filling through a colander and use the juices to make the sauce. Now, just a small colander or whatever you have. A sieve will do. Put it over a bowl or a jug and spoon all the filling into it. We want thick and dry-ish filling, but we want plenty of juices to make a lovely sauce that will pour over when the time is right. And now we'll let it sit like this for a while until all the juices come through the colander and we have the filling separated from the juices. Let it cool, of course. And now I'm going to show you how to make pancakes and how to flip pancakes. And don't you worry, you can do it. I'm going to use 2 pancake pans at a time just to save us some time. If you don't have 2, you can just do it on the one. And I'm using this 21 centimeter pancake pan. It's about 8.5 inches in diameter. I'm just going to spray a little bit of sunflower oil. Let the pan get to the right temperature. The pan is hot enough, and now I'll take about 3/4 of a standard ladle and pour it in and tilt the pan until the whole surface is covered. That's that. Same with the second one. Medium to low, I would say. It's time to turn or flip when the surface looks dry. If you are going to turn it with a spatula, you just go around and gently lift it from each side. The best way to check whether the pancake is ready to turn or flip is shake the pan. If it's not moving on the pan, it's not ready yet. We'll give it another 30 seconds and try again. See? And now it is ready and it's time to flip. Just about 20 seconds on the other side and it's ready. And the same again. And now this one is ready to flip. So to get the right time when to flip the pancake. If the pancake is moving freely on the pan, it's time to flip. Once again, about 3/4 of a standard ladle of the batter. Another thing to mention is that we're looking for very light golden color in pancakes, not brown, light golden color. The last two, 1 and 2. So this recipe actually makes exactly 10 pancakes. There you go. And it's time to flip the last 2 pancakes. So all the juices drained, and we're going to put the filling into this bowl. It's the perfect consistency now. Let it cool a little bit more whilst we are preparing the sauce. And the sauce is made with the juices that we've collected here from the meat and 300 ml of sour cream. If the sour cream you're using is a bit too thick, you can just thin it a little bit with some cream. To this we're adding 2 tablespoons, level tablespoons of plain flour. Whisking it in. Stirring. So it's nice and smooth. And then adding it to the juices. So it's 300 ml of sour cream and 2 tablespoons of plain flour. And now whisk it all together. And that is our sauce ready. And now for the final part. We'll need a baking dish. Any oven-proof dish will do. I'm using this glass, a square one, but it could be rectangular or any shape you like. I'm actually going to make all of them at once, but you can also use a half or just 4 of them and use them later, keeping them in the fridge, or actually you can put them in the freezer as well and use some other time. So take pancake, put it here and put about 2 tablespoons of the filling in the center and make a little parsley. Like so. And put it And the last two. So about 2 tablespoons of the filling will make 10 perfect Hortobagyi Palacsinta. Palacsinta in Hungarian is pancake. And now they're all ready. The last step is that we're going to pour this sauce all over them and put them into the preheated to 180 degrees Celsius oven for about 15 minutes or so until they're all heated through, because everything is cooked and we just want them to be hot. Perfect. And off they go into the oven. Here we are, Hortobagyi Palacsinta, ready and served. Do try. I'm sure you will love it. Let us know if you do. Thank you for watching this episode of Culinary Haven, and a special thank you to Judit. And also, happy first wedding anniversary to Judit and Jason. Until next time, bye!